Hello dear followers and welcome to the review about the Sony 24-70mm f2.8 G-Master. This great piece of glass is available for just a bit over €2,000 and I have to tell in advance, great build quality and outstanding performance. What do you get for your money? Of course the lens that weighs 900 grams. It's made for full frame cameras, so you get the Sony E-mount for cameras such as the Sony Alpha 7, Alpha 7S or Alpha 7R. For that price you can expect to have a dust and moisture sealing. And of course you don't want to miss the lens hood, which is included of course. If you plan using a filter, you need to get an 82mm filter. At the side is a zoom lock switch that provides a simple way to lock the zoom mechanism during transportation. To switch between autofocus and manual focus, just use the little switch provided. By the way, the diameter measures 88mm and the length is 136mm. You can easily zoom from 24 to 70mm with just a single hand movement. The focus ring feels quite valuable but runs a bit too smooth without any resistance. The minimum focus distance with this lens is at about 1.2 feet, so it's not only great for portraits and scenery shoots, no, you can take stunning macro shots as well. It has 9 aperture blades for a soft and blurry background, but we'll take a closer look in detail in a bit. The new developed extreme aspherical lens contributes to a stunning corner-to-corner resolution and gives you the maximum sharpness with all details. And of course another great feature on this lens is its focus speed. I would say just point and shoot. The focus is second to none on all Sony Alpha 7S models with just under a second. So a great allrounder for all press, sport and street photographers. As briefed, let's get to the best part right at the beginning of this review, the bouquet. We said to ourselves, come on, we give a fuck about sitting in the basement to explain you some features that you can look up in the internet as well. Instead, we thought it would be a great idea to show you around Frankfurt and its wonderful Christmas market that opens every year in November and lasts close to Christmas. On the full frame body, such as the Sony Alpha 7S Mark II, you get a stunning blur background with great looking round bokeh balls. You can easily take great portraits with this lens at 50 and 70mm and you won't miss any details, because shooting wide open keeps the sharpness to an outstanding level at this lens. All photos and videos were taken with the Sony Alpha 7S Mark II. There's a direct link in the video description below with some examples for private use only. And of course for about €2,000 you get an outstanding image quality with a sharpness that has never been discovered on any other 24-70mm with an aperture of f2.8. Photos and videos look quite impressive and the details are great. So I would say you don't have to make any compromises when it comes to performance of this lens. It doesn't matter if you take shots in your studios, any stills, and if you're on holiday to spot any hot girls in their bikini and your wife asks you, what are you taking photos of? You can just say, oh my gosh, did you see that bird over there behind that awful looking girl? Another occasion to make the full use of this lens is videography. For all reporter, press and hobby filmers, it might be a great option as well. Let's get to another great occasion, street photography. It's probably one of my favorite hobbies to discover other cities where I haven't been before and of course by foot. At 24mm you can experience just a tiny bit of distortion around the edges. The zoom of 70mm on a full frame body is a great solution if you need to get closer to your subject. And if you plan to use this lens on a camera like the Sony Alpha 7R Mark II, you benefit of having a high resolution to crop some files if 70mm is not enough for you. So I would say a great solution for the next trip to another country. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. And of course you can use this lens for interior and architecture photography as well. I wouldn't use this lens on an APS-C camera to avoid playing around with the crop factor at 24mm. On this day we made a step into the Nikolai Church at the Römer in Frankfurt am Main. I think there's only one there if you plan to go into the same church. The 24mm gives you enough angle to play around even if there's just a small amount of room available. Personally, I would not suggest to use this lens for club and event photography due to one reason. The Sony Alpha 7 bodies are great in terms of lightweight, but this lens appears a bit front heavy after a while. There's a solution to that, which is not the best one, but for some people it might work. Try the battery grip for the Sony Alpha 7 to compensate the front heaviness of this wonderful piece of glass. One of the major reasons to buy a lens for over 2000 euro is the performance that you can expect. In terms of lens flare, there's nothing to argue. The footage was taken with this lens pointing straight into the sun, and as you can see, there's just a tiny bit of lens flare that some people of you might prefer to have as well. So let's get to the conclusion. I'm in love with Canon, as you can tell from all my reviews. But I'm a bit jealous of Fabian, which is the other guy in this video, of having such a great all-rounder. The lens is so sharp, even shooting at f2.8 with such a great bokeh. It's made for filmers, press photographers, sport and anything else where you need a 24 to 70mm, which can also be for your holiday. Also in terms of chromatic aberrations, I would say they are kept down to a minimum that it's not worth to mention them. If you want to convince yourself, try this lens before buying it in Frankfurt's best camera store, GM-Foto, near the central station. We rent all alpha models and of course the best lenses as well. So stop by, get your sensor cleaning and see you soon. Have a great Christmas and a nice New Year's Eve. In Germany we would say Frohe Weihnachten und einen guten Rutsch. Tschüss, and from Brussels, bye bye.